Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon. We've just heard that the LFP or iron-based battery pack is going to be available for customers in the US. It is not all entirely clear and there are a few assumptions being thrown around, but with all the information we have, I think we can try and grasp what is happening and draw several other inferences as to what it could mean. Customers who have ordered a Model 3 standard range, presumably only ones coming from the Fremont factory, have received this email saying that they're being contacted because they now have an opportunity to receive their car sooner rather than waiting until the end of the year. Tesla are open and honest about the range of the new version, that it now has 253 miles, which is slightly fewer miles of range than the current standard range at 263 miles. However, like I've said in the past, due to iron being so much more durable than nickel, you can charge these fully. And Elon has also commented on this and says that iron can be charged to 100% compared to nickel at 90%. So these new batteries lose 4% of their range, but they gain 11% in charge capacity. So when you put it like that, they do offer more charge for everyday driving, and it's only on the rare occasion that most drivers need the extra 10 miles of range. Elon's tweet is to comfort and reassure any customers that they're trying to offer the same experience as the nickel version, aka 2170 batteries. And he even says he would personally opt for the iron pack, which is great to hear, as it also means Elon thinks that LFP is the way to go. So customers have the option to receive a 2170 Model 3 standard range at the end of the year or an LFP version much sooner. They will be the same price. I would say that Tesla will, without a doubt, phase out the 2170 standard range version once all customers who did order the 2170 version have been exhausted. However, saying that, it would appear Tesla is still offering the 2170 version on their website, as it still has the 263-mile range version. The LFP version also happens to already use a structural battery pack too. And of course, I've gone over all the advantages of LFP batteries many times in the past and been vocal about how much better they are, mainly due to safety, being less prone to fire, and the fact they cost much less, due to iron being so much more abundant, and less battery degradation, due to iron being more durable. The new LFP version will also weigh slightly more, due to iron being more dense, so the LFP versions possibly don't handle quite as well due to the fact they're heavier, but they are less prone to fire and can be charged fully, so they both have positives and negatives. Some people are saying this is actually the made-in-China Model 3 being offered in the US and shipped from Shanghai, where they're already using LFP battery packs. But I find this very unlikely. It's a lot easier just to ship over the batteries or actual battery pack, and far more likely considering they can assemble them in Fremont anyway. I think Tesla are going to phase out all nickel-based batteries as soon as they can and move over to LFP where possible. They're far more abundant and cost a lot less. CATL are ramping up significantly and will have plenty available. The 2170 form batteries will have a limited life once the 4680s are in a sufficient supply. In addition to that, Tesla are going to have their own LFP batteries perhaps sometime next year, which will be more energy dense than the batteries Tesla are sourcing from CATL in China and cost significantly less. As some of you saw, I made a video on just how important Tesla's LFP batteries are. That doesn't mean Tesla will stop buying CATL's LFP batteries either, as Tesla can incorporate any excess LFP batteries into their energy storage business. When using LFP batteries, the prices will cost significantly less for energy and thus give a much better profit margin, which is what the business needs, as the battery storage business currently makes losses every quarter. In the future, LFP batteries will also be used in Tesla's Powerwalls. What other inferences can we draw from this? Well, Tesla are trying to save as many 2170 batteries as they can for Texas and Berlin, as it would appear there will not be sufficient 4680 battery supply to cater to the Model Ys coming off those lines. And we've already been told that 2170s will likely be required as a backup until then. Transitioning the standard range to LFP will free up some more 2170s for Tesla to use in these factories. The Model 3 standard range is the largest consuming model variant of 2170 batteries. So from a business standpoint, this makes sense in a lot of areas. This will increase Tesla's margins on the Model 3 standard range in Fremont by a few $1,000s too. The 2170s will only be used in the performance and long-range versions. And yes, that's right, I did call it. It seemed inevitable, as LFP is so much more suitable for the application. On the other hand, I say a lot of things that could happen, so the chances are some of them do come into fruition. I still think Tesla will also manage to create a Model Y version using LFP batteries that has at least 300 miles of range when they roll out their LFP batteries. Due to the advances we saw on Battery Day being implemented into Tesla's LFP batteries, namely tabless design, silicon in the anode, and dry battery electrode process. 300 miles should be ample range for nearly every driver, especially when these charging networks are expanded. And this being LFP, you can charge from 100% to 0% without severely degrading the battery. I've never in my life owned a car with that much range. The most fuel efficient car I ever owned did 280 miles, which was a BMW 328 Coupe. On the other hand, it might have had something to do with the way I drive. Either way, I never ran out of gas, and it's not like I was able to fill up at home compared to charging at home. But if you wanted a long-range Model Y that might be around 370 miles range, then it would require 4680 batteries. So the cost could be quite a bit extra. 300 miles feels like the sweet spot as far as range and price are concerned. If using LFP batteries in the Model 3 in Fremont means that Tesla can deliver vehicles that much sooner, then it may also add more to the likelihood Tesla have increased their production rate in Shanghai, as they are rumoured to have reached 1,000 units a day for Model Y, nearly double capacity. Although I'm also hearing some rumours that possibly these Model Y production numbers are extra shifts that have been taken away from Model 3 production numbers, which would imply the capacity of the Model Y factory is significantly larger than we thought, and perhaps is close to double, which actually would align with a lot of other theories we hear about Shanghai potentially having a capacity of around 1 million. That's a bit speculative though, but it's something that will potentially reveal itself soon. All these scenarios we discuss, eventually we do see some evidence come to light. It would be nice to have something concrete that we could really base some numbers on, rather than so much inferring all over the place. But when enough inferences point to the same answer, alarm bells do start ringing. Anyway, Tesla make about 200,000 Model 3s a year at Fremont. The majority of those are standard range. Even if it's just 120,000 standard range models a year, and the saving is $3,000 per vehicle transitioning to LFP, then that's $360 million extra gross profit a year. And there is perhaps a minimal one-off cost of restructuring the lines, like we saw when China moved to LFP, but essentially it all goes to net profit, at least after tax, which leaves maybe $250 million or so at a current PE ratio of 330 adds $82 billion onto the stock price. Those numbers are a little rough and may be out by even more than one standard deviation, but either way, you get the idea. And bear in mind, we are still at a small scale here, at least compared to when these new factories get going. So just imagine the profit margins when Tesla can go from 4680 batteries to LFP batteries. And when it's Tesla's LFP batteries, not CATL's. To give you some idea, I think Tesla managed to produce their 4680 batteries cheaper than CATL's LFP. Of course, as usual, the market will be oblivious about this until perhaps Q4, when they see the increase in Tesla's profit margins. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.